Been having a little discussion over the last few days about Gehenna and Hades. And the question is Gehenna the lake of fire? Or is Gehenna just descriptive of a place of fire? Now I was talking to a friend, and he believes that it is the lake of fire, and he mentioned how, now Scripture doesn't tell us what Gehenna is, other than that it is a fire unquenchable. But other sources say that it is a dump that is burning day and night. Hence, I guess, everlasting. And, of course, we do, again, the word never quenched is mentioned as part of Gehenna. But still, does that describe the lake of fire as a location? Or is it still descriptive of fire? Now, Hades, the rich man, died and lifted up his eyes. He's in Hades, and he's in torments. He's in a flame. Now, it's a supposition that I was saying, which means I use that word supposition, which means I don't dig my heels in on this and say I know this is absolutely true. But I was saying that I think that Gehenna, as opposed to being an actual place like the lake of fire, is just describing the fire. So when Jesus talks about Gehenna and the fire, and he talks about it in the context of if your right eye offends you, or your hand or your foot pluck them out, because it's better to enter into life, maimed than to be cast into Gehenna, whole, into the fire, unquenchable. Now, Hades, again, the rich man is in flame. He's not just there being held, being kept. He's certainly not in the place with Abraham, though Abraham could see him, that they spoke to each other, but there was a gulf between them. So wherever, in that area, wherever the rich man was, he was in flames, he was in torments, he was wanting just a little drink of water. Now, again, it's my supposition, that Gehenna really is being descriptive of the type of place and not the place. When Jesus talks about Gehenna, when he uses that word Gehenna, he is not talking about any specific people. He's generalizing. He's not talking about any specific place. But now when Jesus does talk about a specific person or place, he uses the word Hades. Like the rich man was in Hades. He talks about Capernaum being cast down to hell, which is how the King James translates it, but it's Hades. In fact, if you have a King James, all it says is hell. You don't see Gehenna or Hades. So you can get you an app on your phone, and you can get a King James version with strong numbers, and you can find out what the actual word is. But anyway, King James just only says hell. So Jesus talking about, in generalizing, he says Gehenna. But when he talks about specific people, such as a rich man or as Capernaum being cast down to hell, or Hades, he's more specific. So I was saying, or at least in supposition, that the rich man is in hell. We know that, and he's in Hades and he's in flames. We know that. That Gehenna is a place of burning, place of fire, always burning. That's descriptive of fire. Now, I wouldn't say that it was separated from describing the lake of fire, descriptive of fire. Now, the fact that Hades is not eternal, it will one day be cast into the lake of fire. So the fact that Jesus talks about Gehenna and the flame being unquenchable, I don't think we have a problem with the fact that for a time they're out of Hades receiving judgment before cast into the lake of fire. I mean, would you find fault with Jesus if he talks about a fire unquenchable? Saying we're talking about Hades, there's a fire. The lake of fire, there's a fire. The fact that they come out of Hades for a temporary time to be judged, would that cause a break in the sequence that said, well, no, the fire then was not burning continually? I don't think Jesus would be trying to get that specific about it, but that it is a place of fire. It is a place of burning that's always burning. So I believe the term is more descriptive, not of a particular place, but of an eternal fire, of always burning. Now, of course, you may have a different opinion upon that. It doesn't matter. I mean, the truth of the matter is this. If you die lost, it's not good. It's not good. If you're in Hades for a time in flames, and then One day you'll be judged. Your name won't be found in the book of life. You'll be cast into the lake of fire. So it's not good. So it really doesn't matter. This is just trying to understand what Jesus was talking about. So that's all we're doing here.